Hi, I'm Josh Burrows, President of Environmental West Exploration, located here in Spokane, Washington. I'd like to talk to you today about a project that we had just recently completed here in Spokane, in the Spokane River Valley. We have completed the Sullivan Road Bridge Replacement Project, where we did the geotechnical drilling for 5 geotechnical borings that were placed into the river, 3 of them from the bridge itself. We incorporated 2 different drilling methodologies that we had on the bridge, which is Tubex, Air-Rotary, and also Sonic, one of the first of its kind, which makes this project so completely unique. One of the things I'd like to speak to you today, though, before we go to the bridge and before we go down to the river, is the capabilities and the history of Environmental West. We began in 1987 in Sacramento, California. This year we're celebrating our 25-year anniversary. Our capabilities include geotechnical and environmental drilling, construction drilling. We are involved in Tubex, Air-Rotary, Sonic drilling, diamond core drilling, and geoprobe push-probe technology. One of the project managers who was contracted by the City of Spokane Valley and Craig Aldworth, Bob Martin, was instrumental in putting this whole project together. We were working directly for CH2M Hill and Ruben Greer, their on-site project manager, and we'd like to thank all of them for their efforts in this documentary that we put together. Today we're here at the Sullivan Bridge located in Spokane, Washington in the Spokane Valley. And we're here today to begin a drilling program that will provide the geotechnical data that they need for the new foundation that's going to be built with the new existing bridge that's going to be installed. The geotechnical information is extremely important because it will give the design staff and the engineers the ability to be able to design a bridge that is going to be about twice as big as the one that they have here right now. The borings that we are going to put in from a drilling standpoint will drill about 120 feet below the mud line. Now, the mud line is defined as the river bottom, and that may change from time to time with the amount of current, so we're not really talking about the depth to water, which is changing right now because we're out here during spring runoff. We're going to drill a 120-foot boring, 3 of them across the bridge deck, and we'll drill 2 borings, one on north abutment right here, and the south abutment located on the other side of the river. One of the borings has already been done. The other one will be done today, and those go to 150 feet. One of the challenges that we're facing here all the time is the geology that we have to deal with. The Spokane River and all the rivers here in the inland Pacific Northwest are inundated with a glacial alluvial outwash material, which ranges in boulders and cobbles from the size of a softball up to Volkswagen size alluvials. So the drilling conditions around these rivers are atrocious by anybody's definition. And finding methods to be able to drill through this type of material at the surface is probably the most important aspects of what Environmental West provides. We're going to be providing an air-rotary system to collar in an 8-inch piece of casing into the river bottom and about 15 feet into the mud line that exists out here. Lowering down this 8-inch casing is going to provide us with some probably some real challenges when it hits the water, and the water is flowing at, well, pretty close to flood stage, and the dam is open, and they need this project underway or they would be looking at some extreme delays. That air-rotary drill will pull off of that boring with the cased hole down to the 15 feet into the mud line, and our sonic drill will pull up over the top of that same 8-inch piece of casing, lower down their tooling, and take that boring from 15 feet below the mud line to 120 feet below the mud line, sampling at regular intervals. The samples that we provide will not only be a standard sonic type sample, which is a 4-inch core barrel that actually produces a 10-foot length of the total lithology of the ground. We will also be stopping at 5-foot intervals for the first 60 feet and taking a standard SPT or split spoon sample, recording the blow counts for basically the end values for the engineers to give them some type of an idea of what we're looking at as far as the density that we have in the soil here. And then after 60 feet, we'll be taking one SPT sample at 10-foot intervals to 120 feet. So we're out here and going to give it the old college try, and we're going to see where this takes us. I have all the confidence in the world with our company that we're going to be able to accomplish what our engineer, CH2M Hill, and Bob Martin, their project manager, is looking for out of a drilling company, especially on a specialty project like this, which is what we specialize in. We are located now at GB3, which is the center pier boring on the bridge. We have advanced our casing down into about 15 feet into the mud line, and we are drilling inside of our Air-Rotary Tubex casing with our Sonic casing. However, we are developing a condition that the drilling industry commonly refers to as heave inside of our casing. We're developing a problem with the sand and the silts heaving up the inside of our 8-inch casing in the annular space between the 6 and the 8. And before we can go any further with this boring, we have to get the 6-inch freed up on the inside of the 8-inch. But it should be just a matter of a few moments. The bridge and the dam that is up above the bridge here was opened last night, so we are dealing with some extremely high flows right now. One of the luxuries I have standing in front of you now is the fact that we did complete this project, and we completed it safely and we completed it successfully. I'd like to thank the enormous effort of all the teams that were involved with this. But the first people I would like to address are all of our friends at Avista Power. They did a Herculean job as far as getting the power turned off to the energized lines that cross the Sullivan Bridge. There was no way that we were going to be able to get out there in a timely manner before the water flows had gotten to a level where it would have made this job impossible. And with their help and their team leader, John McLean, Kelly Donahue, Steve Palmer, and their liaison with Environmental West and Avista, Jill Ham, without her efforts, none of these things would have been possible. They completely de-energized the lines, rerouted the power to the entire Valley Mall. And in doing that, and they did it within about 4 days and made this happen overnight. These things by them were instrumental in getting us out there immediately. Also, I'd like to personally thank the project managers, Bob Martin and Reuben Greer with CH2M Hill, who, with their abilities to manage something like this, it came off flawlessly. Also, I'd like to thank the people at Northstar Traffic, who basically stood out there with us and made sure that we had all the safe traffic control that went on with Randy Held, and also their president, who was involved with this thing, Chris Anderson. And I'd also like to thank my friend Don Hamilton with Hamilton Studios, who helped put this entire project together on video for you today. Until our next visit, please give us a call anytime that you may have some drilling needs throughout the Pacific Northwest or in the Western United States. Until then, drill safe and God bless.